we're gonna move to the overhyped conference of the showing, which was the Sony one. Unfortunately, if you don't think that's too bad, you're crazy. Honestly, just when I saw that Death Stranding, I was like, first off, did they know how, like, what's with the walking animation? First off, that's what I saw. I was like,
it was
yo,
let's watch Norman Reedus walk in different environments.
Yeah, that's what I was like, this is it? This is all you got? I don't care about what kind of story you're telling. I was like, man, just make it a Telltale game then. I don't know, dude. Like, I'm worried. I honestly am worried because like what was this, the third year or fourth year?
I feel like if this was the fourth.
Like and this is all we got. I mean, I know they said like this is probably going to be a next gen game, but I'm like,
it's gonna be like next gen game.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
That's all right, they're going.
It's just I'm already sketched out, and that's when like I understand people are like, yeah, but we saw gameplay. I'm like, you were excited from that gameplay, and you had the confidence to say like, I can't wait to play that game. I don't know about that, dude. It's a little sketchy. I think this is where not the tipping point, where Sony's starting to get like a big head, and they're like, no, we got this. Like, no, there's nothing that's gonna beat us. And I think this is like, not, I'm saying it's gonna be disappointing, or I think once the game comes out, it's probably gonna be, 9 out of 10. Oh my god, another masterpiece, or a 10 out of 10. But like, that's probably just the way the Sony boys are gonna be putting it out. It's not calling out Sony fanboys or whatever. But I'm concerned about that game. The other game I was concerned about was, what was the other game? Ghost. That game doesn't look good at all.
Really? You don't think so?
I didn't think it looked... It just looks weird.
The thing that concerned
me...
It
looks like Tekken.
So, I guess maybe a little bit. I thought that, like, the environments were really cool.
Yeah, the environment, but, like, I'm talking about, like, the character model.
Yeah.
And, like, the lighting. I don't know. They have a lot of color in that, but I'm just like, what the?
That was another game for me where I'm concerned like how much progress they've made, because that gameplay demo was
very strategic.
It took like they started it. He took like 10 steps, killed a few dudes, walked like a little bit, got on the horse, rode to like
this pretty cool field,
couple buildings.
Yeah.
Fought in the buildings, and then there was like this big showdown at the end. So like everything kind of looked the same. It looked sameish to me a little bit.
It kind of reminded me of Sekiro. I was like, this game. Hopefully, people are not going to get confused with these two games.
Yeah, maybe. But I think I'm still excited for that game just for the setting.
Okay.
What really bugged me about they opened with The Last of Us, but the press conference started in literally a tent.
Oh, okay, yeah. The conference itself was
they had another musical number. They had this dude out here playing some like weird like wooden,
basically exactly like Bethesda. And, like, when are we gonna see a game here?
Right. So they tried to tie it into the trailer itself. So like that tent was in the Last of Us 2 trailer, but like it didn't really play well. And like the Last of Us gameplay trailer was, I thought, pretty cool. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I've read some interesting things recently about how I guess there are some people out there, like other developers. There was even a guy from I think Ubisoft that like had to apologize because he called it, like, he straight up said it was fake. And like I guess what's kind of the controversy is the way that AI was interacting with Ellie. What they feel like there are some people, I guess, that feel that scene was scripted.
Oh, because
like for like everywhere where she moved, like the AI were scripted to do very specific things, and like if you were to do whatever you wanted, it would have looked like completely different.
They didn't say
the behavior of the AI would not have been nearly.
They said that it wasn't a playable demo at the conference, right?
But that was gameplay that we were seeing.
But I'm saying, like, is there like at the booth? Did they say that you were able to play that?
I'm not sure. They didn't put a date on it, so maybe not.
So okay.
But anyway, there have been some like rumblings on Twitter.
Yeah, because I remember
Reddit that like that was not real gameplay.
Where there was two guys or two enemies, and like she went at one, and like the other dude just like stood there, and then took a swing at her.
Well, the game, I feel like stuff like they play these gameplay like things through on like easy.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of stuff that didn't really bother me. Basically what they were saying is that it was either fake and it was basically scripted, like the movement that Ellie was making and how the AI reacted to that, or that like Naughty Dog has made some sort of breakthrough in like the AI in video games, like their intelligence or like the algorithms that they use. Like it's either like very bad news for Naughty Dog, like they faked it, or
great news,
or they like made some sort of
They're
technological
geniuses.
breakthrough. Right. That's kind of like the scenario that seems to be out there right now.
Okay.
But it looked really cool. But they had this because they started in a tent. They literally, and there was a bunch of people complaining on Twitter like they were there at the conference. Like there was literally an intermission in this conference so that they could move everyone from the tent to like the actual
What I thought
stage.
was weird is that they had like a panel there talking about like a pro.
They had to fill time.
A pro Sony panel. I was like, what is this CNN? I'm sorry, like what is going on here, man?
So like they talked about Gears of War. They were literally just there filling time, like, we're almost ready for us to resume the conference.
Yeah.
Like, every 5 minutes is like, just a few minutes more, and we'll be ready to resume.
This is why, like,
it was really weird.
That whole, like, debacle, basically. Just
I think it was.
What is... I get... You guys have a big dick. I understand, but, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is, like, where it's starting to get to the douchey zone, in a way.
I also realized on this list that I accidentally skipped over Spider-Man. They showed off Spider-Man.
Well, you kind of put a thing in the chat that was like, he kind of just like he's floating.
He does
Yeah,
when he's swinging through the city
Yeah.
or whatever. Like when he lets go and there's no web, it feels like he's just floating there, and then like maybe like he doesn't fall.
Maybe Spider-Man floats.
I don't know. Like his movements and stuff look really cool.
I didn't like.
Hopefully the controls are a little bit more than just like the quick time kind of things that they seem to be.
I like half of like the enemies, what they look like, their models,
Yeah.
whatever. But like the other half, I was like, eh.
That whole scene at the raft, that was very linear. Just like you're going down hallways, even though like when they were like when he was chasing that thunder lightning guy like around, I forgot it. I'm blanking on his
Shock?
name.
No.
Yeah, something like that. Like chasing him around, like everything's falling around him, but like in a very scripted like it was a very very linear sequence. In the post show. They did show a little bit more of like the open world, kind of like go wherever.
I remember
kinda
saying
thing.
that. Yeah, he was like on like a little like tower thing, and then he did like a pan around.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, but like the movement in the open world seemed just like he was floating. It was really weird.
It seems like an Infamous
like there was no
kind of,
gravity
like, build in a way. It's probably going to be very similar to Infamous. It's just that you're Spider-Man.
Yeah, maybe. So, but I like Spider-Man, but I don't know. That game doesn't really excite me too much. It seems a little.
I wasn't very
for me.
excited when we saw the first look at the game. I was just like very disappointed. I was like, I thought this was gonna be like Batman.
Yeah.
But Batman's kind of linear too.
And there was no. Spider-Man comes out in just a couple months. I think it's
it's
August.
their big fall release.
August or September.
And then
and they talked about there's a remaster for Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil is not really a franchise that's ever really spoken to me, but like January 25th of next year is going to be the Resident Evil 2 remaster. I know there were a lot of people clamoring for that. And then the last one I think here that we haven't talked about is Control. So Control is a new game from Remedy. They're the people that make Alan Wake and Quantum Break.
Which is kind of interesting because now they're basically leaving Microsoft.
Right, yeah. A lot of people we were talking earlier about the studios that Microsoft bought, a lot of people thought that Remedy might have been one of those.
I mean, I thought like it was always like that, or like that already, kind of like that. But like Rare's not really a studio they own either. I don't think.
No, I think they own Rare.
They own Rare now?
Yeah,
okay,
because they have Banjo, and that's what gave them Battletoads.
Oh, okay.
And all that stuff, yeah.
No, okay. Never mind. So like that, it kind of felt like it was already naturally there, but I guess not. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested to see what Control becomes. But like overall, there was no dates for anything but Spider-Man and Resident Evil.
A lot of people saying next year's E3 they're going to be like it's going to be look like Stan Marsh in that South Park episode in the room where he finds the computer by himself. And it's just ectoplasm everywhere apparently. Honestly, over this whole Sony thing was just like the way they said it, the way they displayed everything, the way they went out and did everything. Regardless if you're a fanboy or not of that, I would have been disappointed because I've been disappointed with Microsoft stuff. I'm like, what is going on? Like, and you know, I get that they have these great titles, and what I've really noticed is like it's just like the over the shoulder kind of titles in a way, too.
Third person.
Yeah. So like I think like Xbox is like if they make a game exactly like that, they basically copy and paste. I wouldn't be surprised. If, like one of their bigger titles is going to be similar.
Now that I'm looking at this, I don't think there's a single first-person game on this list. The Last of Us is not. God of War. Oh, Call of Duty, I guess. But that's not their game.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima, Control, Resident Evil 2 was over the shoulder. Kingdom Hearts is not first person. So like, there's not any first person titles here though.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. So I feel like are they not able to tell a story in first person?
I don't know. It's just probably like they probably just leave it up to the.
Because I mean, might as well go to bread and butter in a way, like be able to show the world and like show the character, kind of like know the character a little bit more. You're attached to it. I'm just saying.
Maybe
I'm thinking about it
yeah.
in my head. But I don't know.
Anyway,
it's
move
whatever.
on.